today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800 217.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. I'm Frank Perez, and I'm going to be joined with a call-in today. I'm going to be joined with my co-host, Oklahoma Brian, who should be calling in. We have really nice topics today. Also, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, at Twitter at Fifth Street Sports, and also at fifthstreetsports.com. You can find us on any of those stations, any of those sites. Today, folks, we have a really nice show. I'm going to do it in 3 segments. Our first one is we are going to tell you how, or we are going to share with you how we determine our selections and the way we make our bets, our value plays, our different sources, and all those kind of things, how we find them. And then our second segment, we are actually going to have our NCAA releases. We believe there's one of them this weekend and 4 for the following weekend, which we're going to be adding to those, by the way. And then our third segment is we have 2 releases here for preseason NFL football, 2 games there. I also have 4 different releases that I'm going to give you in this Northern Trust Golf Championship. I just added that at the very end. Entire I would say 90% of the third segment will be on your NFL releases, but I just picked up some really good information on these 2 golf plays. I'm going to add those in on the third segment. Well, today's our third show. I'm getting a lot of kinks out of the way here. Looking into the camera the right way. Talking to my co-host, who's going to be calling me in today because his bandwidth is not so great. Also, I want to mention tomorrow there will not be a show. They are doing some kind of technical difficulties at the station, so-and-so. So Friday we'll be back. We'll be back Friday. And Friday we have a real special show for you because we have one of the top NCAA handicappers, forecasters, anything you want to call them. This guy's top of the line. It's a show you don't want to miss. It's a very special occasion. He doesn't just come on to any show, and he's doing us really nice things by helping us out. And we're going to have an hour after that show, by the way, also. So we're going to have our friend in for 2 hours on Friday. Anyways, we'll be back in just 3 minutes, and we will start segment 1. Thank you.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare, guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently. Even if you've tried another company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's Home Advisor. Home Advisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
Home Advisor. O'Reilly.
If your AC is blowing hot air, let O'Reilly Auto Parts help bring back the cool this summer. While you may need to eventually service your AC unit, get immediate relief with Interdynamics Arctic Freeze R134A refrigerant with leak sealer for $32.99. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez. I'm going to be joined in with my co-host Oklahoma Brian. On this segment here today, we're going to be talking, we're going to actually give out, well, not on this segment. On this segment, we're going to give you some of the ways that we determine how we come up with our releases and our wagers, certain value plays, some of the methods that we use. Especially Brian, he has the top line sources, you know, and we put it all together. We don't just sit there and read a bunch of stats and then give you how they did the last 10 times when they were wearing a blue shirt on artificial turf on a road game. We don't do any of that stuff. We actually have money value ways of determining how we come up with our actual betting selections. Brian, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Good to hear from you, buddy. I was saying to myself, boy, I hope he didn't leave me at the bus stop by myself here today.
I got stuck behind a firewall. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, just a few times. I've actually gotten stuck behind a fire because I worked at the Maryland Fire Department, Berwyn Heights. But
wow, that sounds worse than my situation.
No, I got it. Hey, so buddy, today, I know this is one of the things that you really like that you wanted to share with our listeners is some of the methods and ways how we come up with or determine what we're releasing or betting on.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, one of the analogies I like to use with this, I don't know about you, Frank, but if you think back to way back when you were in school, do you remember in elementary school, middle school, doing math and having the teacher give you your test, your assignment back and say, Frank, you did really good work and you got the right answer, but you didn't show the work. And you'd have this puzzled look on your face, like, what? This is clearly the right answer. What is this business about showing my work? That haunted me my entire childhood because I was usually pretty good at doing that in my head.
Yeah, I can just imagine. I remember the first time I got caught cheating on a test because the teacher brought me up and she said, you were copying from your neighbor. I said, how do you know that? Because on question 14 she answered, I don't know, and you wrote in, neither do I. So anyways, getting back to your English teacher. So elaborate on that, how we use that kind of scenario to determine our picks.
Well, the great news is in gambling, you don't have to show your work, okay? If the answer is 16 or choice D, or Woodrow Wilson. Whatever the answer is, that's the answer. You get paid based on having the right answer. I'm constantly amused at a lot of tout services and handicappers. I swear, I think they get so caught up in the write-up and trying to convince you that, with the enthusiasm they have for coming up with the right answer, even if their win rate is substandard, they might write, 10 paragraphs on why they think East Carolina is going to cover next week. And although I appreciate, some of the reading, it's not necessarily that valuable to me as a bettor. And, sure, sometimes reading the write-ups might help you as a bettor. A lot of times, though, I think it's just a waste of time. And I'll be totally honest. I'm a halfway decent handicapper, and I do handicap games on my own on a regular basis. But I think just as valuable is having a great set of information, being able to observe accounts, have great contacts, share information, and optimize your market entry, and have a great grasp of value. And if you can do those things, you can come up with a fairly, consistently productive method of betting, and you don't need to write. Your bookmaker doesn't need a 10-paragraph explanation of why you're betting the Senator Spurs tomorrow night.
Talking. Now that you brought that up, Brian, I gotta really tell you, I don't even necessarily anymore as a bettor or as an EV player or let's say a gambler that wins. I don't even necessarily handicap the game so much. I actually handicap the spreads, the situations, the line moves. I handicap that more because you mentioned about listening to like too many write-ups or to the talking heads on ESPN. I have to tell you, those guys actually will confuse you because if you listen to them, just like you listen to those guys on TVG, oh, this horse is going to win, it's going to come out to the lead, it's going to win by 8 lengths, they all love him, and then the race starts and it's nowhere like that. You know what I mean? Like the horse finished ninth and it didn't run anything like they said, and you say, God, you just got me so confused. Like, have you ever seen those guys on ESPN? I think it's Jaws and all those guys. They make that little fake field, and then they go out there and they say, this is how he's going to hit him, and he's going to turn right, and he's going to go out of bounds, and this is why this is going to happen. And then the game starts, and none of that happens. None of that.
My favorite Jaws phrase is speed on the outside. Love to say that.
That's right. That's right.
That's totally correct. I'll tell you. So relating to that same thought, I'll find myself a lot of times, I'll see a game move, and if I don't know why, I'll call, I'll call a clerk at a sports book or, certain person in the industry that might know the answer. And frequently, people that are observing me will say, well, geez, why do you even care who bet that game? You're not betting it. And I think they're missing the point. As a bettor, at least as a high-level, high-functioning bettor, it's not about catching every move, but you certainly want to know why is the market moving the way it's moving. Because if you know why, the Cleveland Browns total moved down 1.5 in the first week of November, then you can make your own analysis of how you should react to that. And oftentimes, if you think the move was overblown, there could be value going back the other way. If you think the source is not necessarily a stellar source, there could be value in fading that source. But, and I know that's probably a difficult task for most bettors to be able to kind of act as the air traffic controller, knowing why every single thing's happening in the market. But, that's where I think it pays off to maybe consult someone who does have that kind of second, third level of information, which I think is critical to being a winning gambler.
Well, actually, being in this business with you for a long time now, I was writing down, I think we actually have, like if you were going to put it to like a betting soup, we actually have about 8 or 9 ingredients. We handicap the lines, we handicap how they're moving. We also determine where the sharps are, where the good money's at, where the bad money's at, all those kind of 8 or 9 ingredients. But when we get into this next segment, we're going to actually release 2 or 3 of our selections that we've actually bet on and already. But what I wanted to share with our listeners is this point, okay? When we release our games or our prices, depending on if it's a money line or not, let's go in with the attitude that I remember my uncle, who was a master at buying new cars. He used to always tell me, when you go in to buy a new car, say it 10 times to yourself before you go in. You don't need to have the car. You don't need to have the car. This way, when the salesman walked up to you, instead of, he would say, do you like the car? Say, yeah, it's okay. Not like you had to have the car. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So anyways.
You don't need to have a bet on every game. And you don't need to have a bet.
Exactly. Like you wanted me to mention that to our listeners. If we release a game, let's say UCLA -6, and you missed it, and then the game is 7.5, pass. The equity's gone. That 1.5 that you missed out on. And you don't need to have every bet. You don't need to bet every game. Remember that. Pass that game. Turn the page. There's always another one. But so that's the one thing so remember, you don't need to bet. We don't want you to have the needle in there and thinking that you got to bet it no matter at what price you got it at. If we release it at -6 and it moves more than half a point, pass. Well, folks, we're gonna wrap up this segment and be back here in 3 minutes. We got to pay some bills, and Mr. Oklahoma Brian is going to be back with us because we are going to actually release our flagship pick right after this break.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the Sports Talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez. I'm going to be alongside my co-host who's calling in today, Oklahoma Brian, because he's on a big project. And thank goodness he did, because we have some really good selections for you this week. Also, we are on, we're on Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network. You can find us on Facebook at Fifth Street Sports, Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Sports Talk, Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. Brian, you there?
I'm here.
All right, brother. Who wants the honors of giving out our first release after all this advice and everything we've been sharing and things we've been talking about? We have our first bet. You want the honors of it?
I don't think I could. I don't think I can meet these expectations. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay, here it is. All right, folks, here we go. Game 191, Cincinnati at UCLA. What we're going with on this, and now you got to try to get a pretty good number close to this. I don't have the line service in front of me, which we're going to be talking about line service here pretty soon. We like over 59.5. That's game 191, Cincinnati at UCLA, over 59.5. And I'm going to tell you how we came up with that. And very straightforward and very simple. 5 of our sharpest sources. Remember, we handicap the handicappers. So 5 of our sharpest sources all matched on this particular play. And that to us is a thumbs up, green light play. So it's Cincinnati over 59.5 against UCLA. Okay, Brian, that's our first pick. Boy, let's write this down. You know, we're gonna be charting how we do here. Make sure everybody's making money. By the way, Brian, have we mentioned that one of the tools that we wanted everyone to know, if we're going to do this serious to make some money, one of the tools that you're going to need for this business is a line service. You know how important that is, right?
Line service, but yeah, I think that's totally right. You do the line service, and depending on what level of dollar amounts you're betting, you're going to need that line service to be a little bit quicker in terms of its refreshing. And there are, there's line services at a variety of price points, depending on if you need that line to be accurate up to the second or accurate within 10 or 20 minutes. There's a variety of products at each one of those points.
Yeah. Well,
but I would say also, in addition to a line service, one thing that I always recommend that people do is try to identify in your mind what the sharpest book is for a particular sport. So, I think for a lot of people that's going to be Chris or Pinnacle or actually I think Pinnacle's a great choice for most sports.
Right.
Keep in mind though, a lot of these smaller offices are betting offices also. So they're doing, they're catching a lot of action from their players, but they might be betting out. And what a lot of these guys don't realize is they do have a lot of tells in terms of their of what they're trying to bet, and even the amounts they'll accept on particular games. So you'll if you're a good bettor and you're observant, you'll eventually pick off some of these tells. And some of these places, I mean, it's really obvious. The line will be a scalp, with the entire world for a few minutes before they're done betting, and that's a great thing to pick up on.
Absolutely. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to make a few phone calls after the show, see if I can work out a deal for our listeners, so that we can get a good deal for them on a really, really, really nice line service. Because you mentioned something that's really important to our listeners. I'm going to share with you one of the best ways that we've ever seen how, if you have value, or if your bookmaker's off, or if you can actually just in the blind find a very good value bet. When you get the line service, and I'll work on it by next week so that we have you a promo code and get you a great deal on it. You're going to put on your first two screens up there to see where the line's moving. You're going to put Pinnacle and Chris. Not Grande because they opened up a little bit too late. Pinnacle Crisp, maybe Heritage or yeah, those three.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Heritage for sure.
Now,
when they're in the know, they're really in the know.
They are. Now these are probably for sure two of the Heritage might be in the top 5 of the sharpest books around. So when you see a game like -2 at Pinnacle, that's the correct number. If your bookmaker has a 3.5, a 4, or 3, just bet it blindly on the other side. You're getting 2 points to best of the correct line. Those books are way too sharp. So we're going to do that for our guests. But you know, Brian, one of the things that I wanted to mention was on on this next game that we're going to give out. Okay, here's a special case, and I guess I'll put it out. You know, the game that we talked about. Okay, it's game 143, Syracuse at Western Michigan. In this game, we're going to go over 64. I think there's some 64.5s out there. And here's the reason why we're going to do that. And I'm going to be right up front with you, as sharp as we can get. This game opened up at 64. And one of the people that because you know we have a certain sources and everything, bet the game under 64, and we realized it was a fake because there's a lot of people putting out fakes in this thing. So he opened up with a fake at under 64, which we don't bite on that because it's like we're very experienced at not biting on bad information, and we felt it was a fake. So he puts a $500 play in there to fake the line. Now the real play is the over 64.5, because 4 of our other strong sources came in blasting away on over 64. So that's game 143, Syracuse at Western Michigan, over 64 or 64.5. In this game, I can actually, it's kind of so strong and fits our criteria, I would even recommend go ahead and take an over 65. It's good enough at 65. What do you think about that, Brian?
I like it. And I think that highlights the idea that if you're following 1 or 2 sharp sources, don't feel 100% confident if you're only looking at one account. To really feel like you know what someone's doing, you need to be looking at 3, 4 random accounts from different sources, so that person doesn't know that you're watching them. And, you know, if you only see the account show up in one account and it's not bet in other accounts, you got to ask yourself, was this a fake? Particularly if the bet was made into a what we call a screen out, you know, an out that's going to materially move the rest of the books in the world.
I smelled that fake right away too. I said, why is this guy believe me, this is one of our sources, this is a notorious faker. As soon as he put it in this early, under 64, I go, come on. I said, I smell a rat here. I did, because, you know, we've been doing this long, and I just waited, and then sure enough, here comes our 4 top guys, blasted over, and I said, you know what, brother, I said, this is a fake, so we're going over 64, 143, Syracuse and Western Michigan. You got anything really solid yet on any other games, Brian?
Well, I would just want to make this point as we're giving out week 1 lines. I know you said earlier, and it's good advice, that you need to be disciplined, and if you don't get the number, you know, be the discipline better, and don't chase a bad number. But I think there's every rule in gambling, there's always an asterisk next to it with this caveat but you might disregard that advice in the following. And I think in the case of week 1 of college football, you can be a little sloppy. That games typically don't land on the loose totals. You know, you're not going to say they never land, but they're certainly have a lower potential to land on the number. So you can get away taking a bad number, a slightly bad number on week 1 totals. That's true of any sport because these, you know, sports betting is it's an efficient market, but the market's less efficient in week 1. And
oh yeah.
You know, so if you don't get that premium number on Western Michigan over, maybe you take a half point to a point to the worst. That's okay in week 1.
Right. Now, you know, speaking of that and numbers, something that will help too. It's one of the main reasons that I talk about a real essential tool if you want to do this and really make some money and feel good about it and getting the best of it. That line service is because I would tell our listeners, try to get as many books as you can. Make sure they all pay. Make sure they're all good. You don't want to just go out there with everybody. That's one of the keys. Try to get as many books as you can, because when you have a line service, you can shop around. Like this Syracuse game, for instance, it's 64 in some places, and it's 65.5 in some places. You know, and if you happen to, so when you have all of your options, look around, because I can guarantee you over the course of the season, sometimes this game's going to land on 65, and you went over 65.5, and that's going to suck. Those really burn when you didn't do your shopping around. I mean, you go shopping around when you go to the grocery store, you pick up a coupon. If there's a coupon on the floor that says 20% off, you're going to pick it up. You know what I mean? So why not? You're right. I mean, so I would have to say, try to get as many books as you can, so you can shop your number, and always try to get the best number. Of course, I'm not splitting the atom here. Just try to get the best number on this. One of the other things I was going to say. Go ahead.
Well, I'll just throw this in. Since you mentioned getting a variety of outs, always be cognizant of the agenda of if you have a local bookmaker. This isn't going to be true of national or global bookmakers, but if you have a local bookmaker, which a lot of us do, the hometown team is going to be shaded. So, for example, I'm in Oklahoma, and last time I checked, they were like a 21 or 20.5 point favorite in week 1. But I guarantee you I can get 21.5 or 22 or even 22.5 taking the non-Oklahoma, taking Florida Atlantic in that first game. And you'll see that around the country. In fact, I published a paper on this about 20 years ago that there's a definite geographic bias to local bookmakers. That's a huge advantage.
Huge, and especially with the spread of the nationwide gaming. But Brian, we have just about 20 seconds over here, and we got to get ready to take another break. This is you've been listening to Frank Perez and Oklahoma Brian on Fifth Street Sports. We'll be back in just about 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. I'm getting the high sign over here, so I want to tell you, see you shortly.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help.
800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez alongside my co-host Brian, Oklahoma Brian. Over here we have, this is our third segment here. We're going to be speaking about, we have an NFL play and a few other advantage situations that we would like to share. So remember, we've gone through, we showed you how we determine some of our sources, the way we make our plays. We've released a couple games in college. Make sure that you listen to that one thing. You don't have to play the game. If we release it, or if it goes through a critical number, let's say we release it at 2.5 and it's 3.5, pass. Pasadena, all the equity's gone in that point. Brian, yesterday we had a call in from a Martin Henrich, and he had a question for us. He bet Buffalo in week 1 as an underdog winner, and remember we told him at the show we would try to get him an answer. Well, they're playing Baltimore. They opened up 3.5, and I believe they're up to 5.5, 6, because you said there's some injuries on Buffalo, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're in a bad spot as far as quarterback goes. And, I personally believe they're going to lose their star player, their starting running back, Shady McCoy. I think he could miss significant time depending on what happens with his legal case.
Gosh, Martin, on this game, I look at it, and now you didn't tell us what spread you got it. You just got it as an underdog winner. My advice on this game is I don't know what spread you got it at. Hopefully it's closer to the 5.5 or the 6. But they're on the road at Baltimore. I can just say you can never go too bad betting an underdog, but I have absolutely no way of having an opinion on this. I have nothing on the game. It's the first game, and it's too shaky.
I will say that, generally speaking, I'm not a fan of Baltimore either. They've gotten a lot of respect in the preseason, but a lot of that's because they have, they drafted a quarterback at the end of the first round that really is would seem to be an ideal preseason quarterback. It's Lamar Jackson I'm speaking of, and he's athletic, and he really fits the bill of what you look for in a second-half quarterback in the preseason. So easy to rack up first downs if you have a quarterback that's willing to leave the pocket and run. Baltimore's been phenomenal in the preseason, especially in the second half of the preseason. I'm not sure that translates into the regular season. Hey, I had a baseball play I wanted to pass along. Pretty sharp better called me last night with this, and this is a guy I respect a tremendous amount. I'm not going to mention his name because I didn't ask him if I could, so I'll just tell you this is coming from one of the best guys in the industry. And he was telling me that his group has made a real point of betting the salami under recently, and they're going to continue to all the way up until September 1st when the rosters expand. He made a couple good points. The temperatures have kind of leveled off. That's usually a big key reason for people betting the over in baseball. Bullpens are pretty much in good shape. They're not overused at this point. And this is a fairly unique season where so many teams are in contention, for the playoffs late in the year.
Correct.
And then, of course, we know when we get to the September 1st and we get to the expanded roster, a lot of these older veteran players might not have a place. So they're going to give it, all these pitchers are going to give it every ounce of effort they have coming down the stretch. This is kind of like, I won't call this the end of the marathon because we still have another month of baseball to go, but for a lot of veteran players, this is kind of the last chance to show the organization that you still have a little bit of the
absolutely. It's the home stretch. But Brian, let's clarify for our listeners what we're talking about. What Brian was talking about here is called the Grand Salami. And in baseball, what that means is that's the total runs scored by all of the games played that day. For instance, like today, the Grand Salami was 133.5. So you have to add up all the scores.
Yep.
Now, remember, in the Salami, it doesn't matter if there's pitching changes, but it does matter. Every game has got to go 8.5 or full 8.5 or 9 innings, or else it's no action. So let's track this Brian. Let's track Brian, this one source. Now, this is the way we would do it, okay, folks? Today is August 22nd. We missed today because it's already started. So that's going to give us 9 more days of August baseball, the way Brian was just. So for the next 9 days, we are going to track the under in the Salami. See how we do. We're going to track the under in the Salami for 9 days. That's the Grand Salami total number of runs scored for the day. Let's go under. Just make these a nice little, like if your units are 500, make this like a $100 or $150 play, because even though it's a great source, it's, it is still variable with all the runs scored for the day. Brian, I got to share this with our things. I just got a couple of golf plays in from the Northern Trust, okay? This is from a very, very, very respected.
Is this the event that, I'm trying to think who won this last year. Is it, I don't recall. But I know the course, and I know.
Yeah, I know it. It's a California course. It's a California course, and this is why he likes this guy too. Well, these are the 2 plays I'm going to give you. Patrick Cantlay minus $1.14 over Adam Scott in a head-to-head matchup. So we like Cantlay over Adam Scott minus $1.14 in the matchup. And his second one, boy, and he put a nice little highlight on this. This is a real sharp better. Hideki Matsuyama over Brandt Snedeker, lay up to $1.45. I would say on this, don't go higher than $1.50, $1.52, because that's about, this guy's that good, but he's not 30 cents good. So let's just go Matsuyama over Snedeker at minus $1.45, and a small play on Cantlay and at 40-1 and Matsuyama at 50-1 to win the whole thing. So there you go. We got 2 late golf plays for you from really good sources. And Brian, now on this NFL, did you get the same info here that we got from our guy on game 281? He took Dallas plus.
Is that the Arizona Cardinals game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing. Just 1 second. I'm guessing you're going to give me the dog and the under. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. It came in from our top ways. Yeah, game 281. Our play is going to be Dallas plus 3 and under 43. But I believe that's moved. I mean, that game's got to be way down, right?
Well,
let me take a look.
Frank, this is a really important point for our listeners. So we really emphasize the importance normally of getting a key number, okay? Getting the number that the originator took. The originator being the guy who originally bet it, right? And the rest of us being followers. Preseason football, this is another one of those asterisk games, right? Where I say, okay, you got a rule, but then we got a exception to the rule. Right. It's a big exception to the rule. Preseason football, this game was 3, okay? So the originator took 3, which is normally the most critical number in all of football betting. I mean, you really, really don't want to miss out on a game moving off of 3 normally. But we're talking about preseason, and nothing, if a tie is like kissing your sister, a tie in the preseason, I don't even want to think of what. It's really bad.
You mean if the game lands on a tie?
Yeah, these guys fear a tie more than any. It's the worst thing that can happen, because if they get to a tie, they're going to have to go into overtime, and they usually have a pretty predefined role for each player, right? And by the time you get to the 4th quarter, these are essentially UPS drivers wearing football uniforms, in the 4th quarter.
That's right.
And there's a limited amount of UPS drivers on each bench. So if we go to overtime, it's just a stupid way to get people hurt, So coaches avoid overtime like the plague, and that's why you see if the game gets anywhere close to a situation that could result in a tie, you're going to see people going for two, doing all kinds of unconventional things. And the end result is games simply do not land 3 on a regular basis in the preseason. So, in fact, we could do an entire show on the strategy involving doing middles of numbers 1 and 2 in the preseason, doing a money line against +2.5. But I will say, if you didn't get the 3, which you didn't because it's gone.
Yeah, it's Pick'em now.
Arizona. Oh, is it Pick'em? Okay.
It's Pick'em and 40 and Pick'em and 40.5.
Okay.
So during the regular season, this would be a total Pasadena. We would not, if the game got released to us at 3 and it went to pick, see you later. We, just go get it.
Well, I'm betting the other side. If there's not, if there's no injuries, I'm floating up on the other side. But yeah, this game is overmoved. But just so you know, in the future, if you see a game get bet on the number 3 and you miss that 3, and it's the preseason, you can still bet it at 2.5 with confidence.
But this game is picked. This game is picked. I would say if they could find a 1 or a 1.5, it's still a small play. Because remember, the 3 goes way down in value in the preseason, and the 1 goes way up in value. Okay, it goes tremendously up in value. Because, like you said,
we're giving out an unbettable game. I don't know that we can.
Yeah, let's pass that one. I mean, if your guy was sleeping at the wheel and he still got a 3, take it and maybe call us up. We'll take some too with you. But
I had a guy 2 years ago that used every. This was common in the 90s for guys to use lines out of the newspaper, but I had a guy, a local, that was still using newspaper lines.
Oh wow!
This guy was probably his late 70s, and
Jeez.
I think he woke up with a cigar in his mouth.
Oh, I'll bet you could still get like an 8-track and a VHS player from him and everything, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know the guy.
Yeah, I mean he's still got cassette players in it. I was gonna mention one thing here on the football game. So we're gonna pass on that game. We gave out the golf. Brian, there's something I know that we're missing. We wanted to share with our listeners. Oh, folks. Brian, tomorrow the station's reworking a bunch of stuff, so we'll have no show on Thursday. But on Friday, August the 24th, we're going to have a real special guest. This is one of the top guys in NCAA stats, handicapping, line values. In fact, we're going to do a 1-hour show like our regular show, and we're going to do 1 hour afterwards on the internet. Because one hour does, and we're so lucky to have this guy here with us, that 1 hour does not give us does not give this guy justice for all. I mean, he is like, I would say, the Rain Man of college football value stats. We need that extra hour to get all this valuable. You don't want to miss the show Friday, because we're just very close to the NCAA season, and I'm sure he's going to give you at least 6 to 8 of the most valuable season opening information things that you can get. So don't miss the show Friday and the show after. We got an hour after, okay? His name, I'll mention his first name.
Public radio telephone.
Yeah, his first name is Ron. I'll tell you, that's all I can tell you, because I want everybody to be excited, because they'll know who it is when he comes on the show Friday, and he's doing us a really nice thing here, helping us out with the beginning of our show. Brian, we did some really good, we did a couple really good things here. We're getting better at this, folks, believe me, we just started, but we are getting ready to wrap up this third segment, and we're going to take a break here and be back in about 3 minutes with you here. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be back. It's Frank Perez from 5th Street Sports. See you soon.
Results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. If you owe the IRS back taxes, payroll taxes, or have not filed your returns, the IRS will get you. They can take your property, take you to court, even put you in jail. One call to Wall and Associates, and your tax problems are solved. Wall has saved clients over $150 million in the last 5 years. Our average client settles for about 10% of what is owed. With one call to Wall, you'll never need to talk to the IRS again. We offer free face-to-face consultations in your local area. Remember, Wall has a proven track record with a total client savings over $150 million. Call now for your free face-to-face consultation. 800-813-9940. 800-813-9940. 800-813-9940.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies, but you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez, and I was alongside my co-host, Oklahoma Brian. This is, we only have a few minutes here. We're wrapping up the segment. We wanted to mention Friday we're going to have a special NCAA master on here for handicapping, line values, divisions, win totals. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a 2-hour show, an hour on the radio, an hour afterwards. So, Brian, what do you think? We've given out our first few selections. We spent the first few days kind of coaching a little bit. I didn't want to be too teachy. My mentor over here, president of the station, said, Frank, you don't want to be too teachy. You're not giving a lecture. You're supposed to be having fun and with getting a nice little entertaining viewership. So I'm trying to not get teachy here. Anyway,
so no, maybe I'm actually about to teach a class. So I'm in full teaching mode.
Yeah, I'm so passionate, and I really want to help all of our listeners grow, become better gamblers, winners, not get stressed out, enjoy this, and to win money. Losing sucks. So whatever we've been doing, if you haven't been a winning player or you've been getting yourself stressed out or in bad situations, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So we're going to spend a lot of time. We're going to spend a lot of time here, and we're going to give you a lot of tools and a lot of situations in order to change that, make some money, grow, and have a great season. Yeah. And be glad that you listen to Fifth Street Sports. Be glad that you're tuning into us. We're not just going to sit here and rattle off a lot of garbage that we're 80%. Listen to us, and you can retire or it's easy money. You're going to learn a lot. You can take it with you. Anyways, Brian, so give our listeners. Take it to the bank, and not only that, use these tools to grow on. Even if you get sent to the moon and you can't find us, we'll probably find Fifth Street Sports on the moon also. But if you can't, at least you'll have the tools that we are giving you here with us.
Right.
We only have a few more seconds, so Brian, thanks very much, buddy, and for all the great input again. I guess Friday you're gonna look forward to Ron too. He's got to be one of your top guys.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Okay, you got it. He's like the Wizard of Oz of college football. Listen, folks, this has been Frank with Fifth Street Sports signing off. See you Friday.
USA